Assalamu alaikum. This is Abdulrhman, a student of King Faisal University. We are in part 16 of a series of lessons in C# using console app. In this lesson, we will learn about interfaces. An interface defines what inheriting classes should follow. It is mostly composed of abstract methods, declarations without body or implementation. Here are some things to remember about interface. First, it is not a class. Second, it cannot be instantiated. Third, it contains abstract methods whose implementations are in the inheriting classes. And finally, a class can inherit more interfaces. In our first activity, we will create an interface shape that will be implemented by square and rectangle classes. It has two abstract methods, getArea and getParameter, that must be implemented in square and rectangle classes. Let's create a new project named CA16_1. Let's add a new item, select interface and name it shape. Add the two methods getArea and getParameter without modifier and body. Let's create a square class that inherits the shape interface. Let's create the property side. Let's create the constructor with one parameter. Let's implement the two methods getArea and getParameter. Let's override the toString method. Let's create the rectangle class that inherits the shape interface. Let's recreate the properties length and width. Let's create the constructor with two parameters. Let's implement the two methods getArea and getParameter. Let's override the toString method. In the main method, let's create an object of square and display it. Let's create an object of rectangle and display it. Let's run it. Well done! We just applied interfaces. In our second activity, we will have two interfaces named student and player. Both have two methods. The class person inherits these two interfaces. All the methods simply display: as a student I study, as a student I take exam, as a player I practice, as a player I compete. If you want to do it in your own, please pause this video now. Let's create a new project and name it CA16_2. Let's add an interface and call it student. Let's add the two methods study and take exam without body. Let's add an interface and call it player. Let's add the two methods practice and compete without body. Let's add a class person. Let it implement the student and the player interfaces. Use the suggestion bulb to add the methods. Change the body with the statements as a player I compete. As a player I practice. As a student I study. As a student I take exam. In the main method, create an object of person. Call the four methods. Run it. Great job! For your challenge, try to modify our last project by adding a new interface called man that will be inherited by the two existing interfaces, student and player. In our next lesson, we will be discussing indexers. Thank you for visiting this channel.